Gabe, and this is my 73 Alfa Spider. I'm going to give you a little walk around of some of the details of it. So as I mentioned in the ad, we had this car repainted earlier this year. When I got the car, the clear coat was peeling off just about on every panel, so we wasn't able to fix that through polishing. So we decided to take it down and have it repainted. It also had a couple of dents on the hood and on the side, on the right side here, which we had professionally fixed at that same time. We also, when we had the car painted, we had the wheels off and most of the trim off the car. So we went ahead and had the wheels blasted and powder coated. So the wheels are in like new condition, and those are also brand new tires on it. Tires have less than 1,000 miles on them. So let me walk you around. The paint came out pretty good, but I would say it's a driver quality paint job. It's not a show quality paint job. We wanted to just kind of do something fairly practical on the car, since this is I would consider this more of a nice driver than a show car. Take a look at some of the chrome here. You could take a look at the door handles. The door handle, you see there's a little bit of pitting. This looks like an original, original door handle here. But as you see, we also replaced the seals on this. There aren't any overspray or any issues there. This chrome trim here also has a little bit of pitting. If you take a look at it closely, try to get the camera on that a bit. But the body is very, very straight and really no issues. Come around the back here. I'll get my shadow out of the way. As you see, it is an original blue plate car. This is a 73, and that's a license plate. I did the research on it. That's the appropriate license plate from 73. According to the previous owner, I mean, she had it since, I believe, about 2000, or maybe late 90s. I don't remember exactly. And then, she bought it from a couple in Newport Beach here locally. So, at least from what we understand, it's a local Southern California car. The chrome on the back here is in pretty good shape. It is original. The bumper is pretty decent. It looks very presentable. There's a couple little dents on it. We see a little dent here. It looks like there's a little dent here, a little kind of wrinkle. The chrome on the license plate lights is a bit faded there. You can kind of see there's some scratches and a little bit of pitting there. But if you look at the, as I mentioned, the tail lights, we replaced the tail lights with brand new assemblies, so everything there is brand new. The rubber on the bumper has a couple little scrapes, so I think both of these little points here have a little bit of scrapes. But once again, it's very, very presentable. And then the emblems themselves are actually in really good shape. Those are original emblems, and when we had them off to paint the car, we actually had those touched up as well. So, come around the side here. The gas cap is right here. I'll open it up. Now, as I mentioned, we didn't paint any of the door jambs, so the paint inside these jambs here is the older paint. You'll notice it's a little faded. It looks like there's a little compound, or actually maybe some of the paint here, some paint chips around the inside of the fuel door here. Come around the side here, we'll look at this chrome piece. This chrome piece also has a little bit of pitting on it. There's a couple little, I would say, imperfections in the paint. There's a little bit of a, I don't know what you call that there. It's not quite a chip, but it's kind of within, it looks like it's underneath the paint a little bit. And there's one right here in the corner as well. And then one in this little corner as well. And I think what happened there is when we had the car painted, those are just spots, they didn't sand down extremely well. So, come across the left side here, and this door handle is a little bit better shape, although there is a little bit of discoloration of the chrome within the door handle itself. We did replace the mirror. The mirror on the car when I got it was a little black plastic mirror, so we put the original Alfa mirror back on it. And we'll come around the front here. You notice it has the headlight covers, and those were on the car when I got it, and according to the previous owner, I think it was on the car when she got it, so it's been on the car for a long time. They're not cracked. There's no issues with it, and they're in very, very good shape. And then we'll look at the bumpers in detail. These look like original bumpers to me. We replaced the turn signal lenses, but if you look at the chrome, or I guess the stainless on it, there are a couple little dents. It looks like these may have been used and actually bumped against something, and they were straightened out. So this piece here has a little bit of a kind of a, I don't know what you call it, it's a little bit off. And then the bottom trim as well is a little bit off. The rubber piece here, it's a little bit imperfect. Once again, it looks like she may have bumped, or one of the previous owners may have bumped something. But once again, they're perfectly presentable from, I would say about 5 to 10 feet. You probably wouldn't notice it. We'll take a look at the top now. The top is in very good shape. The previous owner replaced this while she owned it, and she said once she replaced it, she never took it down. So as you see, the back window has no problems. The plastic is it's a little dirty right now. It probably could use a polish, but it's clear. You can see right through it. There's no major scratches in it. And the fabric on the top, and this is a fabric top, not a vinyl top, it's in very good shape. And as you see, there's some wrinkles on it because I had the top down for the last couple days and just put it up this morning. They tend to straighten out after a few days, I noticed. Go ahead and open the car. As you see, the door panels are in very good shape, as well as the seats and the interior. The seats she had reupholstered at some point. The passenger seat is actually in really good shape. There's no issues at all. The driver's seat has some cracks, and hopefully you could see it in the video here. And it's just the seat bottom here. You'll see some stress cracks. None of those cracks go through. They're just, I guess, a crack in maybe the leather, the top part of the vinyl, the top part of the vinyl there. Go ahead and look at the dash and the center console. The dash is in really good shape. It actually has no cracks or no issues at all. And then the center console, well, that's kind of your standard fit. So you've got a couple of issues with the center console here. The shift boot is pretty worn. There's actually a little tear up here, but once again, that's just kind of cosmetic. It's missing the little plastic ends on the defroster and vent controls. The fan blower does not work. The wipers do work. And unfortunately, these warning lights aren't hooked up. So these four and these ones up here around the gauges. Now the gauges all work, and they work, I think, as they should. So when you fire the car up, the fuel gauge, the oil pressure, and the temp work, and then the speedometer and tachometer work just fine. The only thing I'd point out is there is some wear. As you can see, the discoloration of the shift knob. This appears to be original shift knob, as well as the steering wheel itself. We have a little bit of the laminate coming off, or I guess the clear coat coming off on the top of the steering wheel. And I presume that's just from sun and just from age. The floors are in good shape. We pulled the carpets out, and these little aftermarket carpets here, and I apologize, it's a little dusty in here, but we've got the original Alfa rubber floor mats here, and we pulled out those, and there's no rust or no issues with the floorboards themselves. The car does have an aftermarket, at least it had an aftermarket stereo. These are custom speaker grills up front, and I'll show you in the back here. We have a custom speaker box in the back here. Hopefully you can see that. And I think I could pop this up. It has a custom grill, and I can peek under here. We've got a couple of older Alpine subwoofers and mid-range speakers here. So it appears that somebody, maybe in the 80s or 90s, put a really high-end stereo in this car. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any of the stereo equipment except this box in the back. And let's see what else. As I mentioned, the door jambs, they had the, we didn't repaint that, so you'll see some chips in the door jamb paint here, and that red in the door jambs is a little bit, I guess, older, as you can see. Oh, one thing I want to note is that this is, I think, fairly common on some of these Alphas here. The vent window lock is actually missing. I believe these are just glued on, so for some reason both sides must have fallen off, so we actually don't have that on this car. We'll close the door. Come around the driver's side here. Oh, the other thing I want to note is when we actually had the car apart, we powder coated the windshield wiper arms as well, so those are in good shape. This door. Okay. All right, so here's the driver's door panel. As you see, it's in very good shape. It's not new, but it's also no tears and no issues there, no warping. And here's probably a better look at that driver's seat. As you can see, there are some of these stress cracks here, but once again, they don't go through. I believe that could be repaired. Okay. All right, thank you very much.